Whether you're hosting a game night, movie marathon, or any celebration, all of your guests will surely be diving into these tabletop party nachos. Hi, I'm Tara the Foodie, and I take the mystery out of cooking for you. Piled high with seasoned beef, melted cheese, green onions, juicy tomatoes, jalapenos, sour cream, and fresh guacamole, this is the ultimate nacho experience. In addition to corn tortilla chips, I'll be baking up a low-carb version of flour tortilla chips that are just as crispy and satisfying. They're nacho average nachos. They're a fun flavor explosion. Now let's get cooking. So the first thing you want to start with is putting together your taco seasoning mix. And I'm going to show you how to make your own taco seasoning mix in case you ran out like I did. Add 1 tablespoon chili powder, 1.5 teaspoons ground cumin, 1 teaspoon sea salt, 1 teaspoon ground black pepper, 1/2 teaspoon ground smoked paprika, 1/4 teaspoon garlic powder, 1/4 teaspoon onion powder, 1/4 teaspoon crushed red pepper flake, and finally 1/4 teaspoon dried oregano. Then just stir it all up. So now you have a batch of taco seasoning. You may not use all of this seasoning on your beef because it's up to you how much beef you use in the first place. We happen to have over 2 pounds of beef, so we might use all of this, but you just want to eyeball it. Now that we've made the taco seasoning, it's time to cook the ground beef and put it all together. First, you want to add a healthy drizzle of olive oil. Next, you want to add your ground beef to the pan.
Get all that meat in there.
Yeah. So you want this beef to be over high heat so it sears and cooks quickly for you. So we're going to go ahead and brown this ground beef, and once it's almost browned, that's when we're going to add our seasoning. So while the beef is cooking, let's go ahead and prep up some of our vegetables that are going to find their way on the top of our tabletop party nachos. Start by cutting off the ends of the green onions, these kind of crazy looking ends that no one's ever going to eat. Cut those off, throw them aside, and then just basically dice them up however you like. I get to use my new kitchen tool that I just got. I think it's called a scraper, I don't know. The only purpose for it is to scrape up things that you have prepped and put them in a bowl. And these are the things that excite me. I'm gonna scrape them up, and then you can slide it into your bowl. Our ground beef is now browned, but as you can see, there's quite a lot of fat in our pan. And while I like some fat, I don't want quite this much fat in with our meat. So I'm going to show you a little trick so that you don't have to take the entire pot or pan over to the sink and try and drain it and make a big mess. Grab yourself a baster and a little bowl, and then just suck out the fat that you don't want, and you're all good to go. I wish I could just do this to my ass. All right, I'm gonna just set this fat aside. So you see there's still some fat in the pan. So now I'm just gonna stir it back into the meat. So now it's time for us to add our homemade taco seasoning. Just grab a spoon and add it kind of spoonful by spoonful. Stir, taste, and you decide how much of the seasoning you like in your beef. So we can go ahead and turn off the heat now and let this beef hang out, and we will move on to the next step and then come back to the beef and heat it up again right before we're ready to put it on the nachos, and that way our nachos are hot and our cheese is melty. Now I'm going to dice up some tomatoes. So now's the time for me to show you how to make my famous guacamole. Now, in this video, I'm gonna just throw it together, but you can refer to this video and get the step-by-step version of how to make it on your own. And remember, all of my recipes are found on my website, tarathefoodie.com. You can find everything that you need there, pictures of all my recipes, step-by-step directions, and everything that you need to recreate every food that you've seen me make on every video. And the website address is right here. But until then, enjoy this time lapse and lovely music while I make it. So now I am going to show you an alternative to your normal corn tortilla chips. If you're trying to keep your carbs down, I'm going to show you a way that you can still have nachos and keep it low carb, if you can believe that. Get yourself a stack of fajita-sized low carb flour tortillas. You don't need corn tortillas. Get the flour tortillas, and these are Mission Carb Balance is what these are called. But there's different versions of the low carb tortillas, so just grab whichever ones you can find, and then just in a pile, set them on top of your cutting board, and you're gonna cut them into tortilla chip shapes, basically. So we'll just cut down the middle, and just turn it, cut down the middle again, and then cut these little pie pieces again, and you've got tortilla shapes. That's pretty easy, right? So now we're just going to place these pieces of tortilla onto some sheet pans, and I'll show you what to do after that. Now that you've got all of your flour tortilla pieces down on your sheet pans, you want to take some olive oil, and you can go ahead and just use your light olive oil or extra virgin, whatever you have. But hopefully you have one of these types of olive oil pourers. I don't even know. Like it's a bottle that helps you kind of drizzle it, you know, slowly and not get a whole big guzzle out. I will make sure that I have these put on my website, on my Shop My Favorite Things page on tarathefoodie.com, so that you can order one for yourself.
A drizzler?
A drizzler. Yeah, maybe that's what I'll call it.
A drizzler.
A Tara the Foodie drizzler.
Ooh, even better.
So now I'm going to drizzle some olive oil all over these eventual low-carb flour tortilla chips. So the last step is to salt your tortilla chips. For my guacamole, I used my kosher salt because I like to use the large grain salt for guacamole or, you know, seasoning other things like steak. But for this, I want to use a grinder, and I'm using sea salt, Himalayan sea salt in this grinder. I want the grind to be more fine so that it coats the tortilla chips, and, you know, the big grains of salt don't just kind of fall off the chips. And now you just want to pop these into a 425-degree oven for just about 6 to 7 minutes. It doesn't take long, so don't leave the kitchen. Keep checking on them, and once they start to turn golden brown, take them out of the oven.
Let me get that for you.
Baby, would you? Oh, okay. Oh, sorry. Thank you, babe. He's so helpful, isn't he?
Put something in the oven later. It's the bacon chip dance. Bacon chip dance.
Crunching over there.
How's that guacamole, kid?
He's so ready for dinner. We make them suffer on nights that we're filming. They're like, "Are you done filming yet so we can have dinner?" Sorry.
A house filled with beautiful smells.
Yeah.
Of all this delicious food, but you have to wait until we're done with filming.
Till the pictures have been taken and the video has been made and you may eat. So this is what you want them to look like. I'm gonna grab the other one now because I don't want them to cook anymore. Oh, oh yeah. When they hit this color, this is when these chips are perfect. They're crunchy, they're salty, you can taste the olive oil on them. They are delicious. They're actually better than the bagged chips that you can buy. You know, you just have to put a tiny little bit of work into them, but then again, you're not eating so many carbs. You don't need them. So like Juicy Joe and I, we watch what we eat and we like to keep our carbs down and our protein high. That's what works for our bodies and makes us feel the best. So that's why we try to find ways to keep the carbs down, and we love how these chips taste, and they do that for us. They keep our carbs down. The macros on these chips are 70 calories for 8 chips and only 4 net carbs. So you can have a little bit of nachos. You can't beat that. All right, so right now I'm reheating the beef that we made earlier just so it's nice and hot. Because again, when we sprinkle it on top of the nachos, we want the beef to be hot so that the cheese melts over top. Now it's time to put down some parchment paper onto our countertop or tabletop and load up this tabletop with some ultimate party nachos. So get yourself a box, I guess, a container of parchment paper. Get yourself a child to help you. So I have a very cute assistant here to help me put the parchment paper onto our tabletop. So go ahead and grab some of this and do a nice long sheet, and we'll rip it.
Careful, Tara.
So we're ready to pile these tabletop party nachos high on our tabletop. And I've got both types of chips here, the corn tortilla chips that you can buy at the store and the low-carb flour tortilla chips that we just made. So I'm gonna do like a half and half. Now we need our hot beef. Should be nice and hot, yes. We have steam. And just scoop away and scatter your beef all over your chips. It's a masterpiece. A party nacho masterpiece. Oh my gosh. Next, you want to take your shredded cheese and sprinkle it all over the beef and the chips. Now, I'm just going to use my hands. You use spoon if you want to, but I feel like I have more control if I just grab the tomatoes and scatter them all over the nachos. Next, let's add some green with our green onions. And now I'm gonna add pickled jalapeno slices, and you can just grab these in a jar at your local grocery store. You could use regular jalapenos, but I love how these are pickled. They have that tanginess to them, and they're actually not as spicy. Wow, now that is a tabletop filled with ultimate party nachos. I mean, these are amazing looking. Anytime you are having a party, a gathering, or you just want to have a fun dinner with your family, get out the parchment paper, put it on your tabletop, and just cover it with some fun nachos. Why not? And now it's my favorite time of every video, time to taste.
Get on, baby.
All right. Are we gonna get all the kids to come in here and taste, or?
You first.
Okay, I'll taste first, and then we'll call them in.
They're gonna paw in there and attack it. Okay.
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 Let's see. What's the chip that's calling my name here?
Is it gonna be corn or is it gonna be flour?
Oh, you know what?
Flour.
I want a flour one, honestly. So grab your chip, get a little bit of everything on there. I think I did. Then you can add a little bit of some side fixins if you want to. So a little dollop of sour cream.
Yeah, just to remind the viewers, the anxious bellies that await.
They are like, take the bite, okay? And a little bit of guac. And I'm gonna shove this whole thing in my mouth. Oh my God. These are delicious. We are gonna have the best dinner ever tonight. Make these immediately the next time you have a party. They're super fun. You can get creative with them. You can put whatever toppings you like, however much toppings you want. It's all up to you. This is merely to give you an idea of something fun to make for your next party. I'm Tara the Foodie, taking the mystery out of cooking for you, and I will see you next time.
Dig in.
Guys, dig in!
Yeah, dig in. The flour over here, the corn's here.
Oh my gosh.
And what do you think about that dish? We got a And over here, this is the goat. What do you think about this ultimate tabletop nachos?
I love it.
Roman,
They love it.
are you a fan, Roman?
He's
Look at the
nodding.
Beef and the guacamole.
He's nodding.
He's nodding.
Nodding. Yes, in agreement here.
Good. They're good.
I mean, with this gal, Tara the Foodie, and myself, Juicy Joe behind the camera, and fortunately, some hungry boys in this house, that just proves that this is the ultimate tabletop nachos.
Yeah.
Yeah.